How's it going, everyone? Arctic here, and we're back with another episode of Hooked on You, a DBD dating simulator. Last episode, Dwight and Claudette were getting it on by stabbing each other. Sadly, that's not how this works in this world, where you're dead. Sorry, or you can't die. You have to stay here forever. So, poor them, trying their best to get off this horrible island, and me and the spirit, we're going to this spoopy-looking lighthouse to see, I don't know, maybe to get it on ourselves. Who knows? We'll find out. You and Spirit arrive at the coast, overlooking the black lighthouse. It's old, decrepit, but still impressive. It's old and decrepit, but still impressive. There's something magnetic about it. You can see why Spirit would be drawn to such a place. You look Spirit up and down and notice she's wearing all black, just like the lighthouse. Because she's a big titty goth giraffe. I'm noticing a bit of a theme. Is black your favorite color? Black isn't really a color at all. It's the absence of color. It's a void. Like a black hole. A place that swallows light. A dying star. Damn. Now that's dark. You're confident that Spirit will vibe with this, but Spirit doesn't really care for science fiction. Not the type with spaceships and lasers. Anyhow, she's much more into the type of strange adventure that kicked off right here on Earth. Earth, is that where we are? You wonder. The lapping waves on the shore of the coast set a romantic tone. The fog that surrounds Spirit everywhere she goes blends perfectly with the mist rolling up over the rocky shoreline. She's at one with this place, and so are you. The peace doesn't last too long, however, as the lighthouse lets out an eerie howl, a monster dying. Or like a monster dying, a spiraling black light stretches across the sky. Spirit has to yell at you just to be heard. Oh yeah, it does that! The latent sound recede and the two of you sit in silence. Spirit lays the towel down and then pats it on it gently. Clearly, she wants your company, so you oblige. When you do, she takes out some sunscreen and hands it to you. You're not exactly sure what to do. Is this an invitation to get it in a little hands-on action? What else could it be? Thanks! Thanks, I forgot to bring my own when I lost my memory and fell into the ocean. No problem, I figured as much. Spirit turns away while you slather lotion all over your body. You need any help reaching those difficult spots? You see a hand float around your back. Sure, why not? Spirit's hand on her back is ice cold, which has a soft touch. When she's done, she takes care of herself. You watch Spirit apply sunscreen to herself in the most unique way by floating her own hand around her back to spread it on. Floating hand's abilities say nothing. Ask about the shards of glass sticking out from her. I don't think asking about her past would do good. We'll comment about her floating hand. The fact that your hand just floating around like that, you can reach things way easier than I can. It's almost like you're some kind of superhero. I'm glad you get a sick kick out of it, but floating severed limbs isn't exactly the type of superpower you think to wish for as a kid. I'd much rather be able to read minds. Maybe then understand why some people act the way they do. We'll apologize. I'm truly sorry. I clearly hadn't thought through what your experience was like. Sometimes humor is you deal with uncomfortable situations, but clearly you read the room wrong. I was just thinking about what you must have gone through to end up like that. It had to have been horrible. It was worse than death. At least death ends eventually. But I wouldn't want to forget it. It literally made me who I am right now. Truth is, I could pull all these bits of glass out that are stuck in my flesh. Wait. I could pull all these bits of glass that are stuck in my flesh out right now if I wanted to, but I don't want to. Oh, interesting. Each shard is a reminder of what my father did to me, and what the world did to him. That's why I refuse to play the universe's game. I hate the idea that I'll be forced to succumb to pressure the way he did in the end. The way the fear and anger filled him up and then came bursting out the way his misery flooded our home and drowned us all. It's hard not to think about revenge, the dragon inside me. It's doing to me what the world did to him. I have to fight it. Even though it gives me strength, I must maintain control. You're stronger than he ever was, I'm sure of it. I appreciate that. I suppose a little help isn't a bad thing in life. In love, this world is a lot to endure alone. Maybe I could use a little assistance reaching my delicate toes for a bit of lotion. You know, having your body contorted into these vengeful poses, it really does a number on my joints. It rubs the lotion on its skin. Okay, so it's just like the last minigame. Oh no, the game is crashing. I want to make this perfect. I want to do this perfectly. Alright, let's do this. Perfect. Perfect. Not bad. Oh. Okay, good. I did it. I did it. Yes. Well, I suppose that the lotion made it to where it was supposed to be going eventually. And you weren't too incredibly wasteful. I'm not a woman who believes in rushing through things just to get them done. If there's a next time, I'm sure you'll do even better. You look up at the lighthouse, its ominous dark form hovering above this moment between between the spirit and yourself. Evil as it clearly is, in this case, it does you a solid by blurting out another ominous moan and burst of light, black light that rescues you from this awkward silence. It's a pirate ship! From seemingly out of nowhere, an ancient-looking ship appears in the water. It glows, itself a thing of death. The spirit of a ship that once sailed these seas centuries ago. Pirate killer confirmed? A tattered black flag whips in the ocean air above the ship as it careens towards the shore. Careens? I think it's careens. My bad. For crashing on the rocks, it must have been drawn in by the lighthouse. You hear the distant shouting of sailors as the old wooden ghost ship breaks up and sinks into the water. Oh. Oh, my apologies. This is why I need water whenever I do this. Oh, right. It does that sometimes, too. Should we, do something? Nah, the sharks will take care of it. Within a minute, the ocean is quiet again, except for the waves. Note to self, hungry sharks. But these time-traveling pirates, or whoever they were, I'm sure you saw one of those skulls and crossbone flags. Aren't the only ones drawn here today? It's right. He has emerged from the palm trees behind you. I didn't come here to break up your date or something. I came here for that. Wraith points to the lighthouse and is indifferent to his attention. I've been seeing it in my dreams, shining its strange light on me. I can't avoid it. Through woods and walls, nothing seems to stop it from reaching out to me. Duh! It's a haunted lighthouse. It does that to everyone at some point. You're no more special than me. Those dead pirates, or that mermaid I saw washed up on the shore that one time. Ew. Mermaids, by the way, aren't even close to as beautiful in person as they are in the movies. More sea witch than underwater princess, if you get my drift. It's pretty hot, though. It's part of a vast conspiracy, an epic river of lies that run beneath the island or something. I'm pretty sure I figured it out. Basics anyhow. If you come with me, you can get cut. Spirit waves her katana, nearly trimming a couple buttons off of Wraith's tropical top. He takes the hint and backs away a few steps slowly. For the quiet guy, he never really shuts up. Okay, be that way. You'll see. Alone at last. Tension broken. Deathly moans quiet, and Wraith banished back to wherever he hangs out. You scooch closer to the spirit, breathing in the damp, foggy air that seems to emanate from her. It's not quite clear how the whole fog thing works, but you don't even care. You're feeling this moment. Spirit seems to be feeling it too. She starts to adjust her robe, and you get a peek at the bathing suit beneath. For someone who seems intent on proving how little she cares about what everyone else thinks, she puts a whole lot of work into getting. She puts a lot of work into getting into that suit. It's got straps for days. However, you're so focused on what's happening in Spirit, you don't see the next interruption coming. And Claudette and Dwight, who have finished stabbing each other, burst in on you and interrupt whatever you were doing. It doesn't seem like they were worried they'd bump into much. We're here to make a very dramatic announcement. Well, technically, we're here to invite you to join us back at the beach, where we'll be making a very dramatic announcement. It's hard being the producers and the hosts. Aren't survivors supposed to work in groups of 4? Oh, this must be the next achievement then. When you arrive at the beach, you realize you were set up. Despite promising an announcement, Dwight and Claudette simply staying quietly. This isn't at all what was promised. I'm so sorry. Wait a minute. There's no announcement here. But there is. Me! You got mud in your ears, friend? I told you to get lost. Don't you see? Lost is what I am, and so are you. But I know the way out. I've got a map back in my secret lair. Literally and figuratively. Yeah, I know the difference. That's why you should ditch Spirit and come spend the rest of the night with me instead. You've got a secret lair? Damn it. Who said anything about a secret lair? You did! I said I've got sap in my secret hair. There's a flap on my secret chair. Don't change the subject. Don't ask me what he's talking about. You're trying to make a mess of the first nice day I've had in I don't know how long, because it's not even clear what year it is, but in a while. I'm not about to be ditched for the likes of you. I'm not messing things up. Like I keep trying to tell you, it's this dang island. I've come to accept a difficult truth. What's happening here, well, I'm convinced that it's our fate. It's not. It's not anyone's decision. It's simply the way it will be. There's no use fighting it. What would you even know about fighting? All you know is hiding in your spooky little secret hair and crying like a baby while ringing your little bell. So tell me what I can and can't fight back against. I was born a fighter. A dragon lives inside me. I can't not fight. Even when all I might want to do is hide. Don't you see this giant hat? It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for her giant dick. If I do have a fate, my fate is to win every fight that comes my way. Got it? Folks. Oh. You hide. I've seen you hide. You do your phase walking routine. What do you call that? It's basically cloaking. Oh, we all know that cloaking is a type of hiding. Folks. You cloak. I don't cloak. I'm not a cloaker. I phase walk out in the open. You just can't see me. You have no idea what to talk about, but this sure sounds like some video game community forum thread. Minitua? I don't know that word. I've never heard that word before. If there ever was such a thing. Not that you know about that either. It sure doesn't seem like Dwight and Claudette are going to stop this, so it's on you. Ahem. I think I was brought here to make this choice, so I'm going to do that now. And I choose Spirit. When it comes down to it, neither of these two seem easy to love. I mean, damn, Spirit literally has broken glass shards sticking out of her, but she has a certain charm to her gloom. Spirit and I were actually having a nice time. Besides, if it's my fate to end up on this island, well, to hell with fate, really. And don't take this the wrong way, Wraith. The amount of awkwardness you pack into a single day, no wonder you're so skinny. All that second-guessing yourself must burn a lot of calories. No offense taken. Yeah, okay, it's true. I can be a little awkward, I guess, sometimes. Right, so I'm going to stick with Spirit. Spirit breathes a sigh of relief. I've got enough revenging to do without having to kill you and Wraith, too. We still have time for a little bit more. Spirit walks you around a corner to show you something that she discovered in this place and knew was meant to be connected with her journey. A cherry tree. It's just a small sapling, but has begun to sprout flowers. It doesn't make sense to see a cherry tree here in this place. It also doesn't make sense to see a ghost in a black bathing suit. So, you just accept it. As Spirit steps up to the tree, a cold breeze pulls some petals off, and they come skating through the air onto both of you. Do you know the meaning of the cherry blossom? They're beautiful, but also quite symbolic. Of course, like all good symbols, their meaning is pretty complicated. What do they mean to you? For many people, being among cherry blossoms is like being at a celebration of life. People travel great distances just to be near their vibrant beauty. However, as beautiful as they might be, they aren't magical. They're simply flowers. They quickly die and fade away, and for this reason they are also a symbol of the fleeting nature of life, of our fragile morality. In a way, it's a specter of blooming death that calls attention to the specific moment, to see and appreciate life. How does that duality make you feel, Arctic? Unsure. Spirit's question isn't easy to answer. You want to impress her, but you also want to be true to yourself. The entire range of human experiences stretches out before you, and you feel paralyzed by the different options available to you in this moment. And that's okay. It wasn't a simple question with a simple answer. Who knows if Spirit herself even has an answer in mind? However, it occurs to you, like the fallen blossoms wilting at your feet, this chance at connecting with the beautiful person in front of you might be fleeting. Is one of these answers the better choice, or do you remain unsure? I'm still unsure. With cherry blossoms flowing down between you and Spirit, you look at her and gulp. Desperate to be closer to her, you grasp for her the right words to say that will capture your feelings and her heart, but they don't come. I don't know how to feel. I wish I had an answer for you. I wish I knew the correct response, but as far as I can tell, there isn't one. Nothing that's easy to explain, at least. Spirit looks into your eyes, but does not speak. Pink blossom brushes between you and lands on the ground at your feet. My feelings are all mixed up, like petals of this cherry tree floating through the air, swirling out of my control. As I look at them, I have no interest in answers. It's enough to simply observe. It's enough to not know. It's enough to be here right now with you. Spirit smiles. She looks at a petal in the air, and you watch as her eye tracks it. The gusty sea air sending it on a spiraled journey away from you both. Once the fallen cherry blossoms represent the souls of samurai warriors. Those with noble characters, those who did not fear death, those who were killed in the greatest sacrifice to honor their emperor. Their lives were short, but their purpose gave them beauty. Those warriors saw death coming, but they never despaired. They stood and faced it. They held their swords and struck down their fear. But despite the samurai spirit that lives on in me, in my noble bloodline, my life has ended, but my death continues to stretch on. The cycle is frozen. The cherry tree, it's not real. Though its petals fall, they soon replenish. It's as if they were installed here by someone. You watch as Spirit chooses her words very carefully, by someone with no respect for the balance of life and death. We're sorry to interrupt. You know we don't believe you, right? Yeah, but this time we've got a real good reason, and it's nothing to do with us being manipulated by unseen force, because that's definitely not happening. Nobody accused you of that, but okay. We're just here to tell you that it's time for dinner, silly. Get it while it's hot. I guess it's time to go, or whatever. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I enjoyed it. Me too? What a fun day. What a fun day you've been having. I can see it written all over your face. You're shining, and that's not just the remaining anxious sweat from spending an afternoon courting a psycho killer. No, you really are feeling this whole romantic experience. Don't worry, I'll keep your dirty little secrets. But enough gentle ribbing. It's time to get back to business. All the appetizing singles have arrived for dinner, including Trickster. Wraith is here too. We're not gonna do the gag where we cram them all on screen at the same time again, so just believe me, they're all here. And they're all just as sexy and demented as you remember them. Damn it. That's fine, I guess. With your love on the line, everyone is being very careful. Not to offend you by saying the wrong thing. Congrats, by the way, on getting this far. I'm as surprised as you are that these four aren't falling for you. No, not because of your personality, but because you just met them yesterday. However, since Hunter seems like the biggest long shot to end up holding onto your heart, she throws a caution to the wind and speaks up. So I'm guessing that whoever you talk to the least or do the least amount of activities with, or pick, it's this person. So Huntress is the least amount of time I've spent with. Even though I'd rather if you trap her, but whatever. It's a pretty small consolation prize for being the least loved killer on Murderer's Island. But hey, letting them have this one moment in the spotlight is the least we can do, and heaven knows they won't do any better than that. Since it seems like I'm going to be alone forever, I'm focusing on myself. I have hobbies of my own, you know, besides stealing, kidnapping, and killing. Cooking is my passion. Tonight, we will be feasting on a succulent squirrel appetizer with roasted elk as the main, served with a side of mushrooms. That all sounds lovely, except for the mushrooms. I do not do mushrooms. Those mushrooms are probably poisonous. An elk? Huh. More revenge for the elk that killed her mother? If I had a nickel for every revenge-obsessed killer on this island, I'd be a millionaire. I'd have some number of nickels, certainly more than a few. I personally hunted, killed, skinned, and prepped our meal. I even picked the mushrooms myself. I love a woman who can cook and hunt. Oh, they're definitely poisonous. And cheesecake for dessert. Alright, Huntress, I love cheesecake. What, not rushing up? I'm not so one-dimensional, you know. Dinner will be served shortly, but certain power brokers would like to know about your day. Would you like to share their day with the rest of the group? You've had an interesting day, that's for sure, but how will you describe it to the others? Say too much or too little, it could affect your standing with the group. Okay, but don't just sit there saying nothing. Nothing is not an option. I'll be coy. It wasn't really a date, more like two people avoiding everyone else and choosing to be alone, but doing it relatively close in proximity to each other. That's exactly right. Couldn't have not said anything of value better myself. Spirit is clearly happy the way you portrayed your date. No surprise, she doesn't like people getting into her business. Dwight and Claudette bring out dinner. Everyone eats in silence. No one trusts anyone now. And they all are very tired. Oh wait, no, sorry. That's a dreary supernatural horror thriller set in Antarctica. Wait, what? Not a charming parody dating sim set in an undisclosed tropical paradise. Oh, I think they're talking about the thing. Bonnie Appetite. Don't you mean Bon Appetite? Appetite? No, almost everything we serve has a lot of bones in it, even the vegetables. Impossible to avoid on this island. Everyone eats without speaking. Tensions are rising, both of the sexual and deadly verity. When everyone finishes, Dwight and Claudette come back to clean up the table as they linger around as you pick up your plate and take your napkin and dust crumbs off the table. What would you like to say to the servants? We'll thank them. Your top-notch service is much appreciated. In fact, here. For us? Just for doing our jobs? Thank you kindly. Everyone, if you would please be so kind as to follow us to the fire pit. We'd greatly appreciate it. We've been told something big is going to happen. Something that will change everything. You can go willingly, or you can go unwillingly. You have no choice. Tough cookies. Did we have a choice on how you said that, dweeb? Yes, and I immediately regret how I did. Good, something needs to change around here. Fire is rebirth. Fire illuminates the soul. I hope the fire isn't too smoky. Smoke hurts my eyes. I have pretty sensitive eyes. I'm also horribly afraid of it. The fire, I mean, not my eyes, because of... Finally, everyone starts moving towards the fire pit. If only to get away from Wraith's complaining. Oh, it's that time. You take a seat on a comfortable log, feeling the fire's heat against your skin, and wait for other killers to take their places. Wondering who will want to tell a story this time. Will narrator tell the story? I bet you've got a stunning creative mind. Hey, you think, are they allowed to simply place thoughts in my mind like this? Doesn't seem fair. Everyone makes their way in, but something unexpected happens. Nothing happens. Something almost always seems to be happening here. So nothing is probably not a great sign. Oh, cool. Now everyone is looking at you. So, yeah. So, you know, do something. Should I pick someone to tell a story, or should we play charades? Boggle? Well, we were actually thinking, why don't you tell us a story? Wraith points a spine skull staff thingamajiggy at you. We duck out of the way. Who knows what that thing can do? Probably shoot lasers. Try not to bore us. We're just very interested in you. Don't speak for me, Huntress. Now you can't tell if you're warm from the fire or if it's your nerves heating up. I know that the fire's right here, but maybe if we stop talking about it all the time, we can start to pretend it's not here and doesn't, you know, threaten to burn us all alive. He's not supposed to hear me. Get out of here, Wraith. Arctic has to make an important decision about telling a story or not. Fine, I'll tell a story. I hope it's a mystery. Hello there, trickster! Okay, so what type of story do you want to tell? An adventure. Alright. You like your Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movies? How about some adventure? Now we're talking. It's not my favorite, but I respect your choice and will nod politely. You don't have to say that, right? Just nod politely. Okay, ready. Here goes. I really like to go fishing. Solid hobby, great foundation for a story for sure. You pause. Everyone is waited with bated breath. No pun intended. Trapper likes the idea of an adventure story. Yes, that's all. Oh wait, that's it? Not much of a story, really, even a thought. No, you were kidding. No, I was just kidding. I'll get a little personal now, if that's okay. Those types of tales are the best, and often the most sad. The bit of a love story. It's about two strong hunters who meet when they both try to bludgeon the same Wolverine? No. Or about a deranged killer who makes the only woman who ever believed in him witness a display of shocking violence. Not quite. It's about my parents. They met at a party in college. He was hosting. She's been dragged there by some friends. Oh. They couldn't have been more different. And yet, as the night went on, they were drawn to each other. She made fun of his taste in music, and he took an interest in her major, women's studies. They were married within 2 months. Damn! It's just speed running that then. Bit soon to know if you can trust someone, don't you think? It's so sweet. Exactly, I learned a lot about love from them. If you know, you know. Some people don't need years to get acquainted with someone. Love could spark from a look across the campfire. Now you've got their attention. Each killer is furiously attempting to catch your eye from across the fire pit. It's quite alarming, actually. Except for Trickster, who has headphones in and is loudly playing his own music to drown you out. Okay, that was not a good story. I don't mean to insult you, but it was actually quite bad. Sorry, but this narrator keeps it real. We can't just end it there. Who else would like to hear a story from tonight? Look from killer to killer to decide who might be the most entertaining. I suppose I could tell a story. I don't really want to, but anything I say is sure to be better than whatever you got out of anyone else in this group. Like all good stories, I stole this one from someone in the past who is dead now and can't do anything about it. Facts. It's called The Bride, or technically I suppose The Fiancé. One winter, a young couple decided the next spring they would be married. The two were madly in love and could not wait for the snow to melt so they could join in matrimony and unite their souls for eternity. Per the latest bride trends, they decided to have their wedding ceremony at the edge of the woods by a beautiful, shabby chick farmhouse. Together they spent months planning the details of the wedding. The two created invitations, figuring out seating arrangements, and tasted 100 cakes before settling on the perfect one. They chose Lilikoi, by the way. So fancy. When it comes time to figure out the decorations, however, the bride, or the fiancée, I guess since she wasn't actually married yet, wanted to take the lead and set the style. After all, her boyfriend had been wearing cargo shorts and open-toe sandals for pretty much their entire relationship, so he was definitely not to be trusted. Having decided on such a lovely natural setting for the ceremony, the fiancée decided that she would create unique floral arrangements from the local wildflowers that surrounded the farmhouse. As soon as the sun rose on the first day of spring, she set off into the woods. Each day she spent hours mapping out where the best blooms could be found, and prepared to pick them herself the morning of the wedding so that they'd be at the height of their freshness and beauty. Enamored with the incredible variety of flowers in the woods she surveyed, the fiancé, since they had not yet been married, became obsessed with knowing just how many there were, so that she could choose the absolute best. When the fateful morning of her big day finally came, the fiancée told her husband-to-be that she had one final errand before the wedding. Excited for the ceremony to come, she dressed in her beautiful white gown and set off into the woods to gather flowers. Treading carefully, she followed her route, selecting only the best stems and collecting them in a basket. However, when she came upon a once familiar clearing, something was not as she expected. Somehow, it was more beautiful now than it had ever been, and just on the edge of her view was a new bush filled with blossoms so vibrant and colorful, she became dizzy just looking at them. But the fiancé ignored her sudden spell and pressed ahead, scooping up flower after flower, and every time she did, she noticed just further ahead and possibly even more beautiful blossoms. Carried by the sweet fragrance of spring air, the fiancé crept farther and farther into the woods until she turned a corner, stepping over a mossy fallen tree trunk, and realized she had been here before. But this wasn't the clearing she remembered, or at least not how she remembered it. The flowers were suddenly overripe, decaying, falling for their stems into festering moldy piles on the floor. Where bees had been, now only flies buzzed. Where the scene of flowers had once intoxicated her, the odor of mildew now made her sick. She turned and looked back, but the path was dark. Into a shadowy glen she walked, and walked, and walked. The day as guests gathered at the farmhouse, the fiancé was nowhere to be seen. Her friends, family, and love began to look for her, but to no avail. They searched the pasture, the tree line, and into the forest, but there were no beautiful wildflowers or young lovers to be seen. Just old dead trees, trampled vines, and moss-covered rocks. The fiancé stayed a fiancé for eternity, always wondering, looking for fresher blooms to clip, but never finding them. Distracted by a never-ending search for perfection, unable to see that you are loved for who you are, out there all alone. I thought it was beautiful and sad, just like someone we know. How was story time? A lot of people like to take pot shots at sequels, but I think every good story deserves a follow-up. When you think it's an end, the sequel is almost never as rewarding as the original. That's why I'm much more a fan of the episodic style of storytelling. Knowing it's a series takes a lot of pressure off of any individual installment and builds a greater sense of community between audience and creator. Tell me, Arctic, if you could delete any sequel from existence, what would it be? Don't answer that. We don't actually care. We're just here to make sure that seamlessly move on to the next segment of the evening. God forbid my small talk get in the way of a romantic twilight moment. Dwight, I'm gonna need you to shut your yap trap. You know that we need to get back to that thing we do whenever we're not on screen. Okay, you have fun tonight and try not to wink end up dead. Why did you say those words, wink out loud, and what kind of double And trying to, are you getting at that with the end up dead thing? Dwight is physically incapable of linking, not since the accident, and you do know that all of these people are despicable criminals with double-digit kill counts, right? Probably triple. Well, except for Spirit. She doesn't really belong here. She's strictly a victim, not a perpetrator. No wonder she's pissed. Did I hear somebody trash talking the Spirit? Deal me in. What do you say we take this talk to the hot tub so I can soak this bod while I roast the ghost with some killer hot takes? Please, enough talk of burns. Things that are lit are getting blazed. It's enough. It's enough that these activities have to be set next to a literal fire. But must I be surrounded by figurative flames as well? What if we turned and ran as far away from this place as we could? Just you and me. Oh, those spindly legs. You'd probably be tired up before you got too far. If it's running away to someplace more secluded Arctic is after, they should obviously join me. Have you seen these legs? Pure power. No, not that my walk speed really reflects my giant stature, but that's because I choose to move slowly for stealthy reasons. It's my own choice, and it's completely logical. Why is everyone so obsessed with comparing themselves to each other and creating drama? I'm so over all of that. Don't you get it? Society wants to trick you into fighting with each other so that corporations can swoop in and sell you fake solutions to all your fabricated problems. I'll be sitting in this shade and drinking something locally sourced while thumbing through a public domain novel. Printed on recycled paper because I refuse to play their game anymore. It's like she's actively trying to be unappealing if possible. Does it really turn anyone else on? Does it really turn anyone else on, or just me? Despite Trapper's insatiable appetite, it seems his attention along with the attention of everyone else. It's still on you for the moment. If you could, I don't know, just pick one of us. Maybe we could all move on with our lives, or you know, some special projects we might have going. You heard him. Who will you be heading off for the evening? Tons of chances. I'm just saying, you may not get a ton of chances to date around like this before your time on Murder's Island comes to a close. And no, I'm not satisfied with that name. But with the streaming reality TV dating show boom happening, it's pretty much all that was taken. Which killer will you pick? And yes, we're back to excluding Trickster because of that guy. Alright, we're gonna pick Spirit, of course, and then we're gonna call it a day because I thought we were gonna kick somebody off the island, but I guess not. Spirit? Oh, you picked me? Yay! Sorry, that was rude. I despise phoniness, so I should be honest with you. You make for interesting company. I love the idea of winning over these other killers at all costs, even when I hate the game and the prize. But I had a long day. Floating, subverting expectations, grinding my teeth as I imagine sweet, sweet revenge. It takes a lot out of me. So don't stop bringing your A game, alright? It might seem like I hate everything, and getting to really know who I am is an impossible task, not worth trying. But too bad. You know, you won't know unless you search deep inside yourself and bring everything you've got. Or just say the exact right thing at the right time and melt my cold heart in an instant. I don't know the rules here any better than you do. See you at the bar, I guess. Alright, well, thank you all for joining me, and I'll see all of you in the next episode. Have a wonderful day.